Hey, what's going on my YouTube and my Facebook cooking fans? My brother texted me and made a suggestion. He suggested that my next video, maybe I ought to cook some beans, some homemade cornbread, and some fried potatoes and onions. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hold him to it. We're fixing to do that. I apologize for being dirty, but this is a process. It's good. I can remember coming home from school and walking in the house, and my moma'd be sitting at the kitchen table with a bag of beans poured out there on it, and she'd be picking the rocks out of it and getting them out of there, and she would take the beans. She would even take the beans out of the good beans that were kind of wrinkled and set on the side, and they had to be whole. She would take the half ones out of it. When my mama made beans, she made them with love. And that's the way I make mine. So, you know what, I've got my pot here, and this is a process. I mean, it's a long one. I got some pinto beans. We call them brown beans. They call them red beans here in Texas, and in Mexico they call them borracho beans. They're beans to me, brown beans. You cook them up right, and they got that really brown color to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beans, I'm going to put them in this pot, and I'm going to fill it up with water, and I'm going to let these beans soak for about 8 hours. At least 8, maybe more. Because the longer you soak them, the less time it takes to cook them. So we're going to get these poured in the pot, let them soak, and then after they get through soaking, it'll probably be tomorrow sometime, whatever. I got 8 or 12 hours to do something before I do any videos. So we're going to get these in the pot, and then when we come back, we're going to show you what we put in them when we get ready to cook them. There's some good beans. My mama probably didn't put this in it, but you know what? It just makes me hungry just thinking about it. You guys hang on. We'll be back, probably in a day or two. Not really, but we'll be back when these get through soaking, and we'll start cooking. All right, guys, these beans have been soaking for, I don't know, I think about 12 hours. I'm gonna doctor these beans up and show you what I put in them. I've got a jalapeno pepper. Now, if I was cooking this for like a family reunion or, potluck or whatever, I wouldn't put jalapeno in it, but I like my beans a little spicy, and I'm cooking these for myself. I'm gonna cut this pepper up. Lost my microphone. Hang on a minute. There we go. And when I do my beans, I like to leave the veins and the seeds in my jalapeno peppers. I like my beans spicy. Now that's big pepper. I think I'm gonna take some of the vein out of that one. Don't want them too spicy. Get them so spicy you can't eat them. When you get food that spicy, it's hard to enjoy it. Put those in there. I like a red onion. Purple onion, whatever you want to call it. this way I slice my onion. Nothing special. And like I said, my mama probably didn't make her beans this way. Mama would probably just put some salt and pepper in it. I don't know what all she put in it. I think she put some bacon fat in it. Add a little oil to it. I can't remember. I just remember Mama cooking them. And this right here is just another meal that reminds me of my mama. I love my mama. Anything she cooked with love. And you know what? We didn't have a whole lot growing up when we were kids. But when Mama would cook this was like having steak dinner to me. and to be honest with you, I would almost rather have this than steak dinner. I've got some meat here. These are smoked ham hocks. I'm going to take these ham hocks and I'm going to drop them down there in them beans. And then here comes the seasoning. I mean, you know what? Some of you may call me crazy. I like to put some chili powder in my beans. Not a lot of it to make it taste like chili. But what I'm about to put in here adds a lot of flavor to these beans. I got some Tony Choo-Choos. That's going to be pretty much my salt part of it. Paprika. And again, garlic powder. I put garlic powder in just about everything I cook. Got some cumin we're going to put in it. Hank bless me. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Some onion powder. Bless me again. And I got some spices. And then again, I bought from HEB. It's good in these beans. And then, you know I put a lot of sugar in. I don't put a lot of sugar, but I put sugar in quite a bit of the stuff that I cook. And I can remember my grandpa would sit down at the table when Granny would make some beans, and he'd piling beans up on his plate, and he'd get the sugar shaker and just cover them beans with sugar. I don't want that much sugar in them. I don't want them that sweet. But I'm gonna get me, just a little bit of sugar and put in there. And again, I soak these beans for about 12 hours. I would soak them a minimum of 8, because if you don't, you're going to end up having to cook your beans for 8 to 10 hours to get them cooked down to where they should be. These I'm probably going to cook 4 to 6 hours. Then I'm going to make some skillet cornbread. And my skillet cornbread, I kind of fry my cornbread when I do it. I do it in an iron skillet and cover it up with butter, and then pour that cornbread mix in there and put it on the burner and let it cook a little bit on the bottom before I put it in the oven. Then I'm going to cut up some potatoes for fried potatoes and onions. And you guys, hang on. We're going to turn this burner on. Going to let that heat up. Let it come to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, we're gonna turn the heat down. turn it down to about medium, put a cover on it. And I'm gonna cook these beans for probably about 4 to 6 hours until they get, you know, nice and tender where they need to be. And hey, I appreciate you guys watching. And you know, everything that I cook on my videos is what I cook at home. I don't do anything special. Yeah, I cooked a steak the other day, and that, you know, it's rare for me to cook a steak. You know, this is a good old home cooked meal. It takes a while to make it, but it's worth it. I mean, it's a whole lot cheaper than going out to eat. And you young people need to learn to cook, because a home cooked meal is a whole lot better than that fast food or going to a restaurant and paying $30 for something that you know you could take that $30 and eat for a week on. You guys, you know, hang in there. We'll be back once these beans start, you know, get cooked, and we'll make our potatoes and cornbread, and we're gonna go to town. We're gonna start eating. Again, thanks for watching. We'll be back in just a little bit. All right, these beans have been cooking for, I don't know, a little over, about 2.5 hours, a little longer. Look at them. They're rolling. And at this point, some of the water's, about half the water's cooked out of it. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit on these beans. And I'm gonna let them cook down. I like my beans. I like to cook them down and add a little bit of water to them in a minute. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get some potatoes out. We're gonna cut my potatoes up and put them in some water. Let them soak for a little while, because I like to soak the starch off of them. You guys hang on. We'll get them potatoes cut up, and we'll be right back. All right, let me turn this just a little bit. These beans have been cooking for about 2.5 hours. Take a look at them. Look at them ham hocks. Them ham hocks are cooking up. They're not brown yet, but they will be. We'll let some of that water cook out of them. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit and let them cook down. But in the meantime, I'm gonna cut my potatoes up. Get them ready for my fried potatoes. I like the red potatoes. You put them in the refrigerator, they kind of get a little sweet flavor to them. And they make some really good fried potatoes. And when I cut them up, I don't want them cut up in great big pieces. I want them cut up in about little 1/2-inch squares. And something I never remember is you gotta curl your fingers when you cut up food. I always stick mine out and I wind up cutting the end off my finger. Here, let's curl them under. I mean, you see how big them potatoes are? They're about that big. I like them like that. They, in my opinion, they fry a little better when they're small like that. Don't take long to get them soft. I like to leave the peel on my potatoes. That's where all the vitamins are. I got 3 potatoes out here, but I'm thinking one's probably, or two's probably gonna be enough, because I'm just cooking for me. I ain't cooking for a whole lot of people. Ooh, almost cut that finger, but I didn't. I keep my kitchen knife sharp. I ain't gonna learn to curl my fingers back. I think that's gonna be enough potatoes for me to fry. I don't want a lot left over. I'm gonna put this potato aside. I'm gonna wind up putting this potato in a glass of water to keep it fresh. That's the thing about potatoes. I learned that from my mama too. If you got a potato left over and you don't want it to run, get you a glass, put some water in it, drop that potato in it. It'll stay in that refrigerator for a week or two. Won't go bad and won't start growing. All right, I'm gonna put some water in these potatoes, cover them up. And the reason that I've got probably another 2-3 hours cooking them beans. The reason that I put my potatoes in water and soak them for a little while is, if you look, you see how cloudy that is, the water is, that's the starch coming out of them potatoes. You soak your potatoes in water, it pulls the starch out of it. Then you take them out and you drain them, rinse them off, and then when you fry them, they cook evenly. They cook crispy, and they, with all the starch in it, they're kind of gummy. But you take starch out of it and you cook fried potatoes. They're not gummy, and these are going to be really good fried potatoes. We're going to let these sit in the refrigerator and let these beans roll for a little bit longer. Probably add a little bit of water to them, because at this point we're going to turn the heat up and we're going to start cooking them down. You guys hang on. We're going to finish up this video and then we're going to make our cornbread and we'll sit down and eat. Just hang in there. Be back in a little while. All right, guys. The beans are done, but they look good too. We're going to leave them set over there and let them stay warm. Right now, we're going to make potatoes and the cornbread. I got my iron skillet here for my fried potatoes. White onion. I like a white onion for my fried potatoes. And when I cook my fried potatoes, I like my onions cut up pretty good size. Almost the size of the potatoes. Because it is called fried potatoes and onions. Alright, we got them onions cut up. Got the fried potatoes here in the sink. Drained all that starch and that water off of it. And we're gonna put these in the skillet and get them started cooking, because it does take a little while to cook real fried potatoes. Now look here, I'm not making skillet fries. I'm making real fried potatoes. These potatoes are gonna be fried, and we're gonna do it the way Mama did it. Mama could make some really good fried potatoes. Let me get my metal spatula out here. Go ahead and dump these potatoes in the skillet. Put these onions in there with it. Come down just a little bit. And like I said, this is my favorite cutting board. I put some goodies on the back of it where I could put it right here in the sink and it wouldn't slide around. That's what I clean my fish on. Get them onions all mixed in there. Got my oven turned on 350. I'm gonna put the lid on these potatoes and cover them up, because I want to get them potatoes soft. Before I really start frying them. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna make my cornbread. I'm gonna get a cup of cornmeal. And about a quarter cup of flour. I don't like my cornbread to be bread-like. I like it to be a little bit grainy, so I'm gonna add a little more cornmeal there on top of it. Let me put this up. Let me get some milk and an egg. Put a little bit of salt in there. A little bit of pepper. And turn them potatoes down just a little bit. Get me a fork. Get all that combined together. Mix it up before I put the wet ingredients in there. put one large egg, and they say extra large, but it ain't much bigger than a large egg. And then we're going to put some milk in it. You don't want your cornmeal to be lumpy. And you don't want it real thick. Maybe just a little bit more milk. That's just about right there. It doesn't take as long to cook the fried potatoes as it did the beans, but it takes a little while to cook fried potatoes. You want to cook them and you put them in there and brown it, you know, turn the heat. I got it set on a 4 on the stove, a little below medium. I want them potatoes to get soft. Then once they get soft, we're going to turn the heat up just a little bit and we'll start frying them. In the meantime, I'm going to get me some butter. Get me a stick of butter here, and I'm gonna let me back this camera up where you can see this. I'm gonna turn that burner on right there on the front. I'm gonna let this little skillet get hot because that's what I'm gonna cook my cornbread in. It's just almost time to eat. I'm gonna take a whole stick of butter and I'm gonna put it in that pan. And I'm gonna coat the whole pan with it. The sides of it, the bottom of it. And there you go. I want just a little puddle of butter down there in the bottom of it. Put that butter up. And then I'm going to take this cornbread mix and I'm going to pour it in that skillet. And if you look at it, you can see that butter coming up around the edges of that cornbread. I'm gonna turn that stove up just a little bit. I'm gonna let that start cooking. I don't want it to cook a long time, but I want that butter to get hot. I want that cornbread to cook just a little bit down there on the bottom of it. That's called skillet fried cornbread. Then I'm gonna put it in the oven and cook it with that. I mean, look at that butter right there around the edges of it. That's what makes this really good. That's what makes that cornbread really brown on the bottom and crispy. Makes them beans tasty when you eat them. Go ahead and rinse that pan out. I always had somebody else clean my kitchen up when I got through cooking. But it don't take long to clean it up. Now that I'm pretty much through cutting everything up, I'm gonna clean my countertop off. All right, there you go. That cornbread is starting to bubble just a little bit. So now I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in the oven. Cook it at 350 degrees. And by the time them taters get done, that cornbread will be finished. You definitely got a mess to clean up when you get through cooking at home. But you know what? I've been cooking this since 8 o'clock this morning. Well, actually, if you stop and think about it, I started soaking in beans yesterday at 4:30. And it's, heck, what time is it now? Let me look. It's a quarter to 2. And I've been cooking this all morning long. That's what makes it good, is the time that you put into it. You put enough time in it, you cook it with love, and man, it's hard to beat. You won't get this. You won't get what I've cooked right here in a restaurant. They'll call it home cooking, but it won't be home cooking. Guarantee it. Not like this. Oh, them potatoes are starting to look good. Getting that brown crisp on them. That's what's gonna make them beans good. Then we're gonna crumble some of that. Well, it's a little bit hot. Let's crumble it up with the fork. Take a half of that one. Then we're going to take some beans and put on top of that cornbread. get some of that juice from them beans and put on that cornbread. Get our spatula, put some of them fried potatoes in there. And what I like to do is I like to take my fork, smash them beans and cornbread up. A little bit. And there you go. This is country cooking at its finest. That's cornbread, beans, and fried potatoes with onions. It's homemade cornbread, skillet fried. It's good. Here, we're gonna get a little taste of it. And the best way to do it is get a little of them beans. Get a bite of potatoes. Take a bite of an onion. Hit that tomato. I'll tell you what, that's in my opinion better than a steak dinner. You know what? I'm not going to cook for a while. It's supposed to be almost 80 degrees here Christmas Day, and I think a buddy of mine are going to go out to Trading House and do a little crappie fishing. I need to put some crappie in the freezer. Man, I thank you guys for watching my videos, and I appreciate, you know, if you would like, comment, and, you know, follow me, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Have a great Christmas. Christmas is around the corner. God bless you, and have a good lot.